At the edge of a quiet valley, there was a small town where a young man named Leon lived. He stayed in an old wooden house with his mother and earned his living by fixing things for others. Every morning, while the rooster's crow still lingered on the rooftops, Leon would sit by the window and gaze toward the distant mountains, where people said a legendary master craftsman lived, the greatest maker of musical instruments in all the land. Since childhood, Leon had been fascinated by the sound of strings singing in the wind. He once heard that the master's instruments could move people to tears, even when they didn't understand the melody. And Leon dreamed that one day he too would craft such a magical instrument with his own hands. After years of saving, he finally decided to leave home. Carrying a few clothes and a small satchel, he set off for the mountain village to find the master he had long admired. The master was an old man with silver hair, a slender frame, and eyes that shone like moonlight. When Leon earnestly begged to be his apprentice, the old man smiled kindly and asked, "Why do you want to learn?" Without hesitation, Leon replied, "I want to become the best. I want to make an instrument the whole world will listen to." The master nodded slowly. "Then stay here, but to become a true craftsman, it will take 10 years. Leon was startled. 10 years? That was too long. He thought to himself that if he worked harder, he might shorten it to 5, maybe even 3 years. With confidence, he said, "Master, if I work twice as hard day and night, can I learn faster?" The old man looked at him quietly, then replied softly, "Then it will take 20 years. Leon froze, confused. But he wasn't ready to give up yet. "If I devote all my heart, never rest, never let my mind wander, focusing only on learning, how long then, master?" The old man smiled gently, his eyes distant, as if seeing through countless generations of young seekers. 30 years. Leon lowered his head in silence. He didn't understand. Why did the harder he tried, the longer the journey became? The master simply said, "When your eyes are fixed only on the destination, you no longer see the path beneath your feet." From that day, Leon began his apprenticeship, but it was nothing like he had imagined. For months, the master didn't let him touch wood or strings. He swept the workshop, tended the fire, brewed tea, and listened to the wind whisper through the bamboo grove. At first, Leon thought it was a test. He grew impatient, muttering to himself, "I must try harder, work faster, be taught sooner." Each passing day felt like a delay, as if his dream was drifting further away. One autumn afternoon, as the last rays of sunlight fell through the window, the master called him over and handed him a rough piece of wood. "Today, you will begin to make a lute." Leon's heart raced. He grabbed his tools and began to carve. But the wood split. The sound came out dull. The surface warped. Frustrated, he started again, and failed again. The master watched quietly, then said, "Are you carving the wood, or carving away your own dream?" That night, Leon couldn't sleep. He sat by the window, listening to the wind. For the first time, he realized he had never truly listened. Not to the sound of wood, or the wind, or the silence. He had been running so fast toward his goal that he forgot every piece of wood had its own soul, every breath its own lesson. From the next morning, he changed. He rose early, made tea for his master, then went into the forest to listen to the sound of falling leaves. He touched each piece of wood, smelled the resin, felt its weight, its moisture, its softness. When he worked, he no longer thought, "When will this be done?" But "How can I help this wood sing?" Days turned into seasons, and seasons into years. 10 quiet years passed. Leon still worked in the same old workshop beside his teacher. But now his hands were steady, and his eyes calm and clear like an autumn lake. One day, the master handed him a special block of wood, the kind only true artisans could use. "Now," he said, "make your first instrument." Leon did not rush. He placed the wood on the table and gently traced its grain as if speaking to an old friend. Every cut, every string, every note he shaped carried a piece of his soul within it. When the instrument was finished, the master plucked the strings. The sound rose, pure as a spring, warm as morning sunlight, and something in it made the heart fall silent. The old man smiled. "Have you found what you were looking for?" Leon didn't answer right away. He looked out the window, where golden light poured through trembling leaves, and felt peace wash over him. I have! But not within the instrument, within the years I spent living alongside it." The master nodded. "Zen, The peace you seek is not found atop the mountain, nor within success. It lives in every breath, every drop of sweat, every heartbeat along your path. Leon bowed his head, lifted his instrument, and played a new melody. Not for praise, not for anyone to hear, but to thank the journey that taught him to love every step, every moment, every note of his life. When we chase too hard after our goals, we forget the beauty of the path itself. Happiness does not wait at the destination. It walks beside us in every step we take.